gentlemen, I remember over a year ago, I read an article that someone put out, and they were trying to say as long as these children were born with opioids, went through withdrawal and at the hospital and got over the drug addiction that the baby was born with, they would be fine. I knew they were full of crap because we see the clear effects that opioids have on grown people. So you can imagine how devastating this is for a baby. Number one, opioid addicted babies are the hardest to treat. They stay in the hospital a lot longer than babies that are addicted to other substances. Okay. And they are also the most expensive to treat. If my memory serves me correct, just to treat one baby is like over $75,000. That is a lot of money. All right, so this came out on NBC August 30th, 2018. Expecting mother's opioid use may stunt child's learning. So they are now seeing the effects of what's going on with these children that were born addicted to opioids, and it's not good. Now, if you remember during the crack epidemic, a lot of the children that were born addicted ended up in special education. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the same thing is happening to the opioid addicted babies. They are finding that they are lagging behind other children of the same age group. Learning disabilities and other special education needs are common in children born with opioid-related symptoms from their mother's drug use while pregnant, according to the first big U.S. study to examine potential long-term problems in these infants. About 1 in 7 affected children require special classroom services, so in other words, special ed, for problems including developmental delays in speech or language difficulties, compared with about 1 in 10 children not exposed to opioids before birth, the study found. So these children are lagging behind in speech, language, and there's other developmental issues in them. This was the same thing that happened during the crack epidemic, y'all. It's the same thing. The study highlights the absolute critical importance of early detection and intervention before these children reach school age to give them a better chance of academic success, said Dr. Natalie Maytire, developmental specialist at Nationwide Children's Hospital in Columbus, Ohio. It really confirms what those of us who do neurodevelopment follow-up of these children are seeing. The study involved about 7,200 children age 3 to 8 enrolled in Tennessee Medicaid program. Nearly 2,000 of them were born with what's called newborn abstinence syndrome. So they were addicted to opioids. It's a collection of symptoms caused by withdrawal from their pregnant mother's use of opioid drugs like prescription painkillers, heroin, or fentanyl. The drugs can pass through the placenta into the developing nervous system. Tremors, hard to soothe crying, diarrhea, and difficulty feeding and sleeping are among signs that infants are going through withdrawal. In Tennessee, hard hit by the nation's opioid plague, the rate of affected infants soared from less than 1 per 1,000 hospital births in 1999 to 13 per 1,000 births in 2015. Whether the study results would apply elsewhere is uncertain, but in Tennessee, most children born with withdrawal symptoms are enrolled in the state's Medicaid program. Also in Tennessee, in a syndrome diagnosis qualifies kids to receive early intervention services. Maytire, who wasn't involved in this study, said she suspects the research may underestimate the magnitude of the problem because it only captures children who haven't slipped through the cracks. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, this is the future upcoming generation. And you can already see there's going to be huge problems and probably a lot of expenses in even raising these children. The only previous comparable study was in Australia, published last year, showing that affected children had worse academic test scores in 7th grade than other kids. The new study looked at how many kids were for possible learning disabilities and received school-based services for related difficulties. It did not examine academic performance. Results were released Thursday by the journal Pediatrics. The researchers said, taking into account other factors that could affect children's development, including birth rate and mother's education and tobacco use, didn't change the results. Study co-author William Schaffner of Vanderbilt University said it makes sense that opioid use in pregnancy could affect children's later development, which makes sense. Like I said, you see how it can take down an adult. You can't tell me these kids would not have impact. You know, the person that wrote that article that I read last year, that's just wishful thinking. Some studies have found brain differences in affected children, including in the region involved in certain types of learning. But Dr. Mary Margaret Phil, the lead author and researcher of Tennessee Health Department, said these children are definitely not doomed. There are great programs and services that exist to help these children and their families. We just have to make sure they are plugged in. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. They are seeing some difficulties in learning in these children that were born with an opioid addiction. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, family.